The reduce method is a little bit advanced. With the reduce method, you can do all of what you can do with the for each method, or the filter method, or the map method. The reduce method allows you to do whatever you want with arrays. So let's look for it on MDN. Here it says this description. And here they are saying that the reduce method can have 4 arguments. The first one is the accumulator. The second one is the current value, the array item. Then the third one is the current index, the array index for the item. And the last one is the array itself. And also they are saying that the reduce method can accept a second parameter, which will be the initial value for the accumulator. Let's go to the text editor and try to make it simple. I will create an array of numbers. Now, how to make use of the reduce method to return the sum of these numbers? Let's see how we can do it. I will create a variable sum. Then I will use the reduce method on this array. Then here I will use a callback. So remember, the first argument will be for the accumulator, the second one is for the array item. For this example, we will just need these 2 arguments with the callback. Then for the accumulator, we need to give it the initial value, so after the callback, we add another parameter and we give it the value of 0. So the first time this reduce method is called, the accumulator will be 0. If we use here 10, the accumulator will start with the value of 10. So let's put 0 here. And now remember, we want to return the sum of all of these elements. We will just return accumulator plus elements. Then let's console log the sum variable. And now we have the sum of these numbers. Great. Look what happens when we first give to the accumulator a value of 10. Here we have a sum plus 10. If you still find it confusing, I will console log the accumulator, then the element. Here also let's start off with 0. And let's remove some elements from the array so it will be simple for me to explain. So my array will have 5, 9, 2. Now let's see the result in the browser. When the reduce method is executed for the first time, the accumulator is equal to 0, because here we gave it the value of 0. If we give it 30, it will start with the value of 30. So let's remove it and leave 0. And now, when we execute the reduce method for the first time, the accumulator is equal to 0, and the element is 5. Then when we return accumulator plus element, the accumulator now will be 5. Then here the next element is 9. When you return accumulator plus element, now the accumulator becomes 14. Then the next element is 2. When you return accumulator plus element, the accumulator now becomes 16. We have no other elements in our array, so we return the accumulator. And it is 16. We gave it here to variable sum, and now when we console log sum, we have 16. Great. You can do a lot of things with the reduce method. I will add new elements to my array. And now what if you need to return a new array that have only elements that are greater than 12? Pause the video and try to solve this challenge. And now we will do it together. Let's create a new variable that will store the result. Then let's use the reduce method on the array. For the callback, we need the accumulator and the element. And now the result we want to have is an array. So for the accumulator, it will have an empty array as its initial value. So here let's add an empty array. Great, we are almost there. Now remember, we want a new array that has elements greater than 12. So here we check. If the element is greater than 12, if this condition is true, we push this element in the accumulator. So we use the push method, then we return this. else we just return the accumulator. We don't do anything to it. And now we have the right result. Great.